Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 hit games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description listing the entire directory structure of this archive. Today for week 227 we have a whole bunch of team digs again, and this time they're all being led by CatDog Joe. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. First up, CatDog Joe and ZinfidelZT have dug up WINGAMES Backslash Casino Backslash Slot. Well, it's obviously going to be some kind of slot machine. The question is, what kind? Not a lot to this folder here. What's the file ID I just say? Slot machine, classic one-arm bandit. Not really much else to go on there. Do have a help file. Slot machine, index, commands, file menu, options menu, and rules. This actually seems like... Okay, there's a few things in here, but this seems like an unnecessarily tiny help file. Anyways, let's see what we got here. So, slot machine. That's not a lot to go on. What's the help say? Do we have an about? Who made this? Apparently this was version 0.3. Okay, so not finished. Made in 1990 by Brett McDonald. And he says it's shareware, but you send a registration of $5. It's not finished. You're asking people to register unfinished software. Okay. And apparently there's slowdown delays and sound. Okay, so to bet, I'm guessing... Okay, so it's using PC speaker sound effects. Okay, that's kind of weird. Your bet can go up to $1.25. Oh, whatever. Okay, I guess we won something? Okay, I guess we won a lot of things. Okay, so that was, $12.50 winnings there, so that's why it took so long, because it was making a lot of quarters out of that. Is there actually a list of the payouts? Yes, it is. Okay, so 10 times on that. And then 2 cherries and anything else is 3 times. Interesting. Okay, that's kind of weird that 3 bars would be the maximum payoff. And that's weird because whenever you have a slot machine that has bars on it, there's usually something better than the bar. Like, it's very uncommon for the bar to be the top thing, unless it's a slot machine where you have multiple layers of bars. Like if you have a single bar and a double bar and a triple bar. So that's actually kind of weird, but also these payouts are a little high. I guess the idea is that if this is like totally random, then you'd have to have like a really high payout or something to be able to get a lot from it. Let's see what happens if we make the delay long. That doesn't really help much. Well, so far I'm burning all that money away that we just earned. Really quickly. Wow, I don't think I saw a single cherry pop up that entire time. Okay, something interesting I'm noticing here as I've been pulling this lever here. I'm gonna show, like on screen right now, all of the results I got in a row, and you're gonna see that they don't look very random. So I have a funny feeling that in order to introduce some level of randomness, it's doing it with like a global timer. And when you're using a global timer for randomness in Windows 3.1, it can take a while for that to update. Something has gone really screwy with the random number generator, because this is always showing up as a plum, and this is almost always showing up as a bar, and then this is the only one that seems to be changing. Unless it's because of the delay long? I wonder. wow. Okay, so I turned the delay to medium, and everything seems to be randomizing properly again. So if I turn this to long, are we going to get, like, bar cherry again? No, it ends up being like this again. That's so weird. So yeah, the slowdown delay here is affecting the random number generator in such a specific way that it's pulling up almost the exact same results every time with the delay set to long. Because yeah, if I set the delay to short, like, I mean, we're still not winning, but at least the results are different, right? Whereas if I set it to long, this is going to be a plum and this is going to be a bar. See? Oh, wow. You know something's wrong with your program when you manage to hit that precise number that messes around with your pseudo-random number generator. Okay, so we'll try that again. Okay, I finally won something. I seriously haven't won anything since that very first pull at the start of the program. Although I didn't have it set to $1.25, so I didn't get a lot back from that there. Well, I've seen the double cherry come up a few times now, but there it is again. But I'm not getting the 3 in a row. Oh, that's actually worth something? 2 plums in a bar? Okay. I guess we're gonna find out how much it's worth in a moment here. It takes forever to count this up, though. Okay, that was $17.50 worth of winnings there. And now I'm winning nothing. Really? You're not gonna give me anything anymore? Okay, we just went from $30 to, like, nothing. Oh, and right at the end we get the triple grapes. Although I find it interesting, I only had 50 cents left, yet the bet was $1.25, so I wonder if it's actually gonna give me, like... It did. Oh, there's another bug with your program. So I only had 50 cents left, yet it allowed a bet of $1.25 and ended up giving me $1.25 worth of winnings in terms of, like, the multiplier, because it's a 10x multiplier on that win. So even though I only had 50 cents, it gave me, yeah. So there's a bug, but as it stands, this whole program's got some RNG issues. But yeah, that was Slot Machine. Not worth $5 because not even finished and has issues. Not to mention the whole counting the money thing when you win is a little slow. Hate to see what would happen if you actually did get 3 bars in a row, but given the way the RNG works, I doubt that's happening anytime soon. Next up, CatDog Joe and Matthew Belshon have dug up WINGAMES /comp /3D Man 2. Well, with a name like this, it had better be in 3D. But anyways, 3D Man 2, this is a screensaver? What? Something called, well, actually it says here it's called 3D Mania. But why is it there 3D? I don't get what's going on with the naming here. Anyways, apparently this was made by HyperAct Incorporated. Apparently 3D Mania Screensaver. Windows 3.1 screensaver module that displays rotating boxes and pyramids on your screen. Okay, so installation. Copy the SCR file and the 3D2 files, the Windows directory. Yep, that's about as expected. So give me a moment here. You know, something I find funny is that Alt-Tab used to actually be an option you could turn on and off. Nowadays, it's just sort of a given that Alt-Tab is a thing you can do, but you used to be able to disable that. But in any case, 3D Mania, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's not a good start. So is this test going to fail as well? Yeah, let me go find a copy of Borland's C stuff and get this working. Also, I should point out that this entire documentation file here says nothing about needing Borland's Windows DLLs for any of this. So somebody dropped the ball in terms of getting this installed properly. Okay, I've got the Borland file copied over, so setup. 3D lib screensaver, copyright 9394 HyperAct Incorporated. I'm guessing this is a very bit crushed photo of the guy who made this. using the Windows 16 color palette without any dithering. Yeah. That's apparently all that you get from setup, so I guess we'll test it. Well, here's our screensaver. It fills up the screen with a lot of colors. I'll bet the video compression's having fun with this one. Actually, let's try turning the cycles down a bit on this, and see if that lets us see what's happening a bit better here. Okay, so this kind of helps define the shapes a little better, having it going slower like this. I guess I could try turning it down even a little more than this. Okay, so it's basically going through a bunch of color patterns, showing three-dimensional wireframe shapes moving across the screen. It's just simply not erasing them as they move. So, yeah, not really a lot to this. And quite frankly, something like this is not going to save your screen very well, because the pixels are always going to be present on the screen, which means... I guess it is kind of random though, but I mean, even this is eventually going to cause some kind of pattern to show up, so I wouldn't exactly call this a good screensaver, but I've definitely seen worse. Oh, you know what? Something that just occurred to me. Okay, hang on a second here. Something that just occurred to me is that this had a registration fee attached to it because there was a register file. So what did the guy want for... Oh. Really? You're gonna be like that now? Okay, I got the file open. So how much money is this guy wanting for that screensaver? $20?! Are you freaking kidding? That's... This is not worth $20. No. No, 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 no. A screensaver that just does this is not worth $20. Only geez. I can tell you right now that the amount of source code necessary to do something like this is tiny. So yeah, that was the 3D Mania screensaver. Overpriced and doesn't even save the screen that well. So yeah, not recommending this one. Next up, CatDog Joe and Michael Madsen have dug up WINGAMES / Miscellaneous / Dice286. I will be very disappointed if all this does is roll some dice. Hopefully we've got an actual game here. Small file sizes is not inspiring to me. What's the file ID that does say? Windows Dice Roller 1.11, a dice rolling program designed for players and referees of science fiction and fantasy role-playing games. Allows you to enter up to 9,999 dice of up to 999 sides. Yeah, most commonly used dice D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20 because they actually physically exist. And apparently it also does heads and tails and percentile dice, available as one-step push buttons. Okay, so it sounds like it's actually going to be... It is going to be just a dice roller, but at least it's going to be one that's actually designed for people who need dice rollers, at least from the sounds of it. And apparently the person who made this, a Robert Tremblay, wants $10 for it. So I guess we'll find out if it's actually worth that much. But... I notice there's an 86 and a 286 file, so I'm guessing it's probably one of them is just, yeah, they're almost identical in terms of file size. I guess we'll just try the 286 one. So, Dice Roller. You know what's funny is that this actually... It's kind of interesting. This actually looks very similar to a dice roller I made myself that I actually have on my computer for easy access, just whenever I need something like that. In fact, I'll post a picture on the screen right now of my own dice roller, but this one kind of looks like that. So you pick how many dice you want to roll. So let's say we want 4 dice, and if we want them to be D12s, so 4D12, roll them. And there we go, 3, 4, 6, and 5 gives us an 18. And apparently we can also add a DM modifier, so something to just add to the result. I'm also seeing there's a sort option here, so if I hit, it doesn't seem to sort it automatically, but it will sort them when you roll, if the sort checkbox is hit. Okay. Well, it's set up to 9,999 with 999 sides. Let's see if it can actually handle this or if it breaks horribly. Oh, it actually did handle it. So here's all the rolls we got, and obviously there's going to be, yeah, a lot of the same rolls. And the ultimate end result here was 4,979,649. So if you want to roll a crazy number of crazy-sided dice, then you absolutely can do that. And then apparently we also have heads, tails, which every time you click it, it just immediately gives you a heads or a tails. Or D100, which just immediately gives you a D100 result. Okay. So yeah, just a really simple dice rolling program. I guess if you do need something like this, then $10 is probably a fair price. Because, like, I mean, the one I showed earlier that I wrote, I think I probably spent a couple days working on that one. So yeah, definitely for anybody who needs this kind of thing, like, for what they do. Like, you could program one yourself fairly easily, but the question is, would it work the way you want it to? Like, I mean, I could put together a dice roller really quickly in Quick Basic, but it's not going to be this nice looking, right? So yeah, it really depends on the person. I think for the average person, this is kind of unnecessary, but for somebody who actually does do a lot of dice rolling for whatever tabletop games they're playing or whatever, then yeah, it's a fair program for a fair price. And our last dig for the day from CatDog Joe and Saint of Streets is WINGAMES /unclassified /CLICKIT. I've got a funny feeling this is just going to be a game where you have to click random things on the screen. Oh, that's a lot of bitmap files. Okay. You got a text file here. So what is CLICKIT? CLICKIT is a silly little game that tests your arm dexterity. Basically, the goal is to double-click all the Windows-style control boxes, the gray boxes with a white line in the middle that are at the upper left-hand corner of every window, in a certain amount of time while avoiding clicking on the Mac-style control boxes. So this is like a Mac versus Windows thing. Battle to the death based on the control box. This little square. It's dangerous. Okay, not really. Yeah, I guess it can be dangerous if you double-click it accidentally or something, but okay, really, it says here to install CLICKIT the easy way, put all of the files that come with CLICKIT into your Windows directory? Are you freaking for real here? You want me to put all of these bitmap files into my main Windows folder? That is some ridiculous right there. The game should just run fine from the folder it's in. Why would I need to do that ever? Wow. Okay. That's like, that's not the easy way. That's like the completely overdoing, unnecessary to ever consider way. This is getting ridiculous. So how do you pay for CLICKIT? You don't. It's free! Sextuple exclamation mark! Then again, it really isn't all that fun after a few hours after a few hours? Holy jeez, I've got a funny feeling this is gonna lose its fun factor after like 1 minute. But let's see. Is it safe? It worked fine for me and I scanned it for viruses, but if it messes up your computer or anything else, it's your own fault. Your own fault. Because you put it in your computer. Because you put it in your computer. Because English. If you downloaded this from CICA and it blew up everything on your computer, please tell them to take it off so nobody else has their computer blown. Oh, man. Okay. Let's go give it a run. So I do like that it started center screen. It doesn't happen with a lot of these programs. So the idea is that we're trying to score as a Windows user, not as a Mac user. So there's a help here with an about. CLICKIT is freeware. Give a copy to everyone you know. Why is this resizable? How to play, also with a resizable window. How do you make that mistake? The main window is not resizable, and yet your pop-up windows are. If you prove yourself to be a true Windows user, you advance to the next level of fun and excitement. Good luck and happy mousing. Oh boy. New game. So... Oh, you actually have to double click. It's not a single click. I guess that makes sense. Why is Bart Simpson suddenly showing up? Why did that happen? Wait, it took too long. Oh, it's actually timing you. If you take too long, it actually, counts against you. Well, I didn't see Bart Simpson that time. And now apparently more than one can show up at a time? Wouldn't that... Yeah, that kind of makes it easier having... Oh. But you do actually have to get the ones that are timing in. Okay, this is actually a little frantic. Especially since you can't take too long on some of the ones that show up, but... Every time that you took too long thing shows up, it's actually really distracting and completely breaks the flow of the game. So yeah, like, I mean, so long as you're... Because that's going to happen sooner or later. So as long as you're making a couple of these per set, then you're gonna win. So yeah, actually having more of them show up at a time is kind of counterintuitive to the whole nature of the game. So that was CLICKIT. Definitely glad it's free software because definitely would not want to pay money for this. But I guess for what it is, it's not terrible, but this is nothing special either. And yeah, as I thought, it does not take long to get bored of this. I'm only still playing it because I'm just trying to fill the time while I say my final thoughts on it. But yeah, it's very basic as far as games go, but, you know, at least it works.